We're back to look at some freshman wide receivers from the 2023 recruiting class, and today we're going to be looking at Carnell Tate, 5-star wide receiver for the Ohio State Buckeyes. We're going to look at his 247 Sports player profile page, and then we're going to look at the highlights. If you're here just for the highlights, just fast forward a little bit, maybe like a minute or two, and you'll get there. But before we dig in, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're covering these prospects all summer long up until the college season. So you're ready to see what these young guys are going to do on the field as they pop off during their career. You have something to reference as you're watching them play during the draft or whatever happens in the future with some of these players. But let's dig into Carnell Tate. Let's get familiar with him before we look at the highlights. It's a big reason why we do this. First thing, height, weight, 6'2", 180. So we got some size here. We got some size and some length, it looks like. So it looks like he was probably going to fill out some more as we go throughout his career at 180, 6'2", more than likely. In the rankings, ranked wide receiver 9 in the composite, wide receiver 3 in the rankings here. So we do have a variance, and he's a 4-star on the composite. So that is also something you want to note. Looking at the offers here, he had 37 offers and 3 visits. Schools at the top: Ohio State, LSU, Tennessee, Alabama, and Arizona. So, top tier, Power 5 schools with Alabama, Ohio State, LSU as well. Wide receiver U, one of the wide receiver U's in college football. Them on Ohio State are debatable. Also Alabama, of course, they're putting out wide receivers as well. So, we got some teams here that are looking at him. He's from Brenton, Florida. So there we are. All-American Bowl roster he was on. That was one of his accolades. Scouting report projected to be a second or third rounder. That's something you're just going to have to wait and see how his career unfolds. But they got him comped to Calvin Ridley. So just by that comp, I'm expecting to see some route running with some ball skills. Slender frame, measured, but plays much bigger than his size. Savvy route runner. Looks like good footwork. Uses hips well. Explosives. Played arguably one of the best games of the day against St. Francis Academy. So again, we got a good wide receiver here. Very nuanced. Ohio State's getting another nuanced wide receiver and another top tier prospect. So it's going to be interesting how he inserts himself with this team. With their grading system here, ball skills is a 10. Yards after catch, 9. Route running, 9. Hands, 9. So we got a solid wide receiver. Toughness, good. Speed, 7. Size, 8. Strength, 8. So looks like size-adjusted athleticism, good enough to get the job done. Better than average for sure at 7 with the speed. Ball skills, tremendous. Yards after catch, tremendous. Route running, up there. That's good to see here. Let's see, in 2022, caught 30 balls for 777 yards and 8 touchdowns. And let's see here, 2021, we don't have any stats listed. Transferred to Brentwood before preseason, no stats listed. 28 passes for 444 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2020. Missed out on fall season due to global pandemic. So there we go, and that was back in 2019 when we read those stats off here. 2022, 35 catches, 777 yards, 8 touchdowns. Everybody wanted this guy. We got some size on him, and he's going to the Ohio State Buckeyes, who is good at putting out wide receivers. Let's look at the highlights and see what we got in Carnell Tate. So here we go. He's at the top of your screen here, running the route. Quarterback steps up, tosses it, ball's in the air. Huge catch. Huge catch. Ball skills already showing. Ball skills already there. Here we go on the outside. We're going to win easy. They're just going to let him go by. Pitch and catch on that play. Pitch and catch. Can't really beat that one. Carnell Tate on the outside, down there on the bottom. Again. Nice ball skills. Looking good. Looking good. Where are we at here on this play? We're here at the bottom of your screen. Little play action. Beats your guy easy. This is the way it should look here on the highlights. It should look easy. Should look easy. If you're a top guy, things should look easy for you. Nice route there. Breaks it to the outside. Good cut. Sells it well too. You could tell with the face mask where his head was at, where he was looking again. That's the second time he broke out like that. Got to really pay attention to his cuts because he's pretty swift and he's very nuanced with it. Boom, boom. In and out. Turns at what's happening now. Staying with the play. We're downfield. Nice little catch. Nice little catch there. Here he is. He's downfield. Looks like we got a shell around him. Still makes the grab through the window. Bounces off dude. Solid play. Here we go on top. What we got here? Gets downfield. Huge pass downfield. Rises up. There's the ball skills. There's the ball skills. That's exciting to see. We got him down here in the bottom. Gets downfield. We're just going to blow past the guys. Again, we should have plays like this. Easy pitch and catch. Still makes the play with guys kind of close to him. We're up top. Comes off. Oh, we got the drag all day. Pull away, son. Pull away. I can see why they graded him high after the catch because he can bounce off dudes pretty good. Good feel in open field. Another drag route. See what he does after catch. Okay. Here, up top. Stops quick. Stops well. They're right on him, though. Here we go. We're up top. Gets off the line pretty good. Another drag. Should hit him pretty easy there. Did he get it? I don't know if he got that. He might have. Here we go. Nice catch using his body to box out the DB. That's pretty solid. We're up top here. Stops. Pretty good stop and starter. Pretty good stop and starter. That had very limited, if no drift to it. Again, the angle is kind of far away from me to really see the finer things, but he stops pretty good when it comes to like the curls, the hitches. He stops pretty good. Bam. Moves laterally well, especially being in like a 6'2" at this age too. The swiftness of the feet comes together more as you get older and more tuned. Again, he uses his head well to sell where he's going, especially when he's going to kick that route back out. Even when he doesn't need to, he'll sell, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. Ooh, finishes the block there. That's a good thing to see, too. Because he didn't really need to. We're on the outside. Quarterback steps back. This dude's got solid feet. His feet is smooth. He's on the outside here. Again, he's good breaking it the opposite way. Like, you know it's coming if you see it enough. If you study tape on him, you know when it's coming. I don't know if you can do it while you're backpedaling. But he's smooth, though. Good hands. Good hands overhead. Was that slant? I wasn't paying that much attention to the route. What we got here? A little quick pass. I see the Calvin Ridley comparison due to how he starts and stops, especially on them curl routes, and how he switches directions when he does his break, and how smooth it is, and how he sells it. Very nuanced for his age as well. Something that you don't normally see from young wide receivers, which is very encouraging. Very encouraging. That means he's going to be a leg up compared to some of the other guys. After the catch here, again, this guy's not a burner. He's not a burner. He's not a top-tier speed asset, but you can tell he's fast enough to get the job done. Fast enough to get the job done, if not a little bit more, because he can get you yak. He's smooth in the open field, but he's not a guy you're going to have him run 9 routes, but he's so nuanced that you don't want him to. Anyways, you want him to be able to use that nuanceness to create separation, and that's what you're going to get. I see him doing something on Saturdays and potentially doing something on Sundays. And that nuanced play here, the route running, just being able to break off them routes, sell your routes, create separation there. So this is from one game. I just pulled as much highlights as possible for him. That way we have much to look at. And we're seeing some of the speed here on the kickoff. I thought having this extra game here from these clips gave us a little extra to look at, especially off the kickoff returns. Get you to see a little bit more pop off the step. Boom. Again, solid player. Solid player. I will say this. He doesn't pop as like the greatest wide receiver I've ever seen or anything. Like Marvin Harrison Jr., thinking back to his tape from high school, he doesn't pop like that, but he's a good player. He's very solid. He's deserving of top tier status from what I've seen over the years. He pops well for what he is. And then here we go. We're starting to see a little bit of pop in his step off the kickoff returns. That's one thing I noticed when pulling the clips is we needed to have that. The way you use this guy with how well he runs underneath, creating separation with the very, very smart route running, you don't need to use his speed. He's not a speedster. He's not a guy you're going to run 9 routes all day with. You don't need to. You run him on drags, slants, outs. You run the more short to intermediate stuff, maybe some post downfield, because he's so nuanced. He's just going to create the separation and be open. He's just so good at that. You just see that with his game. He moves really well. Very good and smooth footwork. On top of that, he knows how to sell. He knows how to use his eyes, head, shoulder to manipulate coverage. And even when he doesn't need to, you can tell in game he's trying to get those reps in because it can be zone. He could already have it, but he's still working on selling that route and giving you everything, which tells me that he's not going to take routes off thinking that he's already got this route one due to how the coverage is laid out, and then things change or the DB just gets a good angle or whatever. Like, he's going to run the play how it's supposed to be, and he's going to do the best he can on every route, which means that's going to allow him to get better over the course of time, because we saw that on some of the plays. I love how nuanced he is, and his ball skills. It showed up in the early part of the clips. His ball skills is very good. This dude can rise up, and his hands are sticky. Catching the ball over the head in traffic, downfield, big-time plays. This is a playmaker, dude. This guy can make plays happen. You're not going to have him run 9 routes all day, get downfield like that all day, because he's got a skill set where he can win cerebrally with his route running, which is very solid and is a very ahead of its development the whole time right now. At this time, at this point in his career, you don't get too many wide receivers who can break off routes like this, who has very good sell tactics. You don't get too many like that, especially showing that on the highlight tape. You got a good route runner here. This is going to pair well at Ohio State because they do have some good route runners. They've had that over the course of time over these last few years. Garrett Wilson, Olave, Harrison Jr. Fleming's pretty good at that too. Fleming's really solid after the catch. He's solid after the catch as well. There's not really much you can really say bad about his game. Plus, these are highlights, but still, you can kind of tell the difference in highlights after you start watching a ton of them over and over and over again, as we've been doing on the channel. But let me know your thoughts below in the comments. I want to hear about them. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out, especially an Ohio State fan, because I have more of these Ohio State players coming at you here soon. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.